really what I want to do anymore. And the reason why is not because I didn't like the colleagues or I didn't like my clients. All wonderful, I have to say. So hats off to those people. However, it wasn't satisfying me anymore. I didn't feel that I was serving a purpose. I didn't feel that I'm helping people. I created apps and websites and brochures and for big car manufacturers and stuff like that. All exciting. I learned a lot. However, not fulfilling enough for me to give me that factor of saying, okay, I'm happy to work 16 hours a day on that. So yeah, and basically what happened is that I did a training. I did a training for neurolinguistic programming, NLP in short.
Right.
Extremely interesting. Learned a lot, changed my life, improved my communication skills, and changed everything how I see things and deal with people and myself.
So both on a personal and a business level, both.
Both,
Wow.
exactly. It really it's a life-changing thing. I do remember a friend saying, I'm not going to speak to you again because you want to influence me and tell me what I'm thinking and saying. And I said, it's not about that. She's still talking to me though.
Thank goodness.
Yes. So this company was also offering coaching training and not really knowing what that is exactly. Always loved transferring knowledge, always was someone who loved talking in front of people. I mean, I was doing events before as well, talking in front of 1,500 people, no problem, no stage fright, doing things, organizing. I'm very organized, like you have discovered as well, working with me.
I will talk more about just how wonderful. It's literally you ask her to do stuff and she does it so completely, and so without any perceivable effort. It's wonderful. But yes, anyway, so
anyway, carry on. I also did the coaching training. So I did that training there and I absolutely loved it. I was like, coaching is interesting. And for everyone who doesn't know, so the difference between coaching and consulting, just super fast in an easy way. Coaching is more about asking questions, helping people to find their own answers. Consulting is more, you give some answers. Okay.
So one is you're doing part of the work for them, and the other one is you're instigating it so they can do the work for themselves. It's
exactly.
almost like giving somebody a fishing rod and teaching them how to fish.
Exactly.
Yeah?
And I would call myself a coach-sultant.
Okay.
A mix
A
of both.
consultant.
Yes. I'm a mix of
I'll
both
see if that
because,
catches on.
yes, we will see. It's just because I believe there's time for questions, but there's also time for answers, especially if you're working with entrepreneurs.
Okay.
Anyway,
All
going
right.
back into how I actually became an entrepreneur after all this training is that I did this coaching training, called myself life coach. Like, you never know what niche you want to go into. You just want to test it. And it happened within the first 2 or 3 weeks that entrepreneurs started working with me. And I was like, I love this. I love entrepreneurs. They love what they do. They're passionate and they want to have a real impact for themselves and probably for something else as well. So community or environment, whatever. And so I thought, this is my niche. I'm going to stick with that. I never wanted to have anything to do with marketing again because I thought I'm done with that. So I focused on supporting them starting their business. However, then obviously they reach a point and they say, but you worked in marketing for more than a decade. I need that. And you make it so simple. Can you not include it? So the title was born, Marketing Creative Startup Coach. I saw that working with entrepreneurs is much more fun on marketing than working on a brochure for
Well, of
big.
course, I can see that. I can see
Yes.
that. And I suppose you're having a real measurable direct impact on people that you've had a direct relationship with, rather than being custom 476 or a large agency. I suppose that probably gives you a lot of satisfaction, I would have thought.
Oh, I absolutely love it. This like, I love smiling and, smile is contagious, but so is enthusiasm and passion. So all these people I work with, they tell me I give them energy and they give me energy. And this energy bounces off and gives me that motivation to continue because even people think I'm always full of energy, which is almost true. I also need this motivation. I also need this feedback. And this is working with entrepreneurs is what it gives to me. So basically I stuck with that and it took me about 1.5 years to transform from a full-time job because I started this coaching whilst I was working 16 hours a day in my full-time job. job to a part-time job to then make this full-time of what I do now. And then it morphed into all kind of things.
But you don't do 16 hours a day now, surely?
No. Now I work 9 to 5. I'm really strict with my working pattern, but it really took years to get there as well, because it's like a hassle. You know, this word hassle. Oh, it's a hassle. But they glorify this word, I think, in the startup world. And I'm not a fan of that, because I think it should not be a hassle. You should have your time off. When you go on holiday, you should not work. When you have a hobby, it should not have to do anything with your business, because you're going to start slowly burning out without realizing it. That's also what happened to me. We talk about it another time. Anyway, so I learned it over years.
Hang on, stop 1 second. In the midst of all this, you've written 20 books.
I did, yeah.
Where did you get the time? You must look. So far, I've got eating, drinking, sleeping, and working. I don't know where the time is to fit 20 books into that.
Well, so I'm running I started my business 11 years ago. I started writing books in 2016. So that makes 7 years and 20 books.
Yeah, I've been looking through them. You can see that they're properly written, and they've got ISBN numbers and everything.
They do. They're all available across the world on Amazon.
I know. I've seen it in multiple languages.
And some in multiple languages. Yes. So I've got a bit obsessed with writing books, and I created this process for me that I'm happy to share in another life with you as well. Because once I know things, what I want to write, it takes me about 2 weeks to write a book. And that's why. And that doesn't include all the editing and proofreading and all that kind of stuff, the writing part. But I'm going to talk
about almost the architecture of the construction of it. So your process is only 2 weeks long, but then there's no doubt a few months process of making sure that it's actually right and branding and
it depends. So some of them I really had the idea and got them out. So one was the most extreme one, but it's not written thing. So I just going to tell you which one it is. It's the coloring in book for entrepreneurs.
I love that. By the way, I'm ordering that. I'm ordering that.
Perfect. So I created mandalas with like integrated mantras to create a success mindset for entrepreneurs. So I did that. I had the idea on a Saturday and I published it on a Sunday. So within 2 days.
That's so cool. So did you draw the mandalas yourself, or how did it work? You found the mandalas and then integrated the words into them.
Yes. Yeah. So I created something together. So fast forward 11 years, I have the academy where I support mainly solopreneurs in the first 3 years, service-based solopreneurs in the first 3 years, with my academy, where they get all kind of things. So there's 2 levels actually. There's a free level where they can enter. They already get some resources, the community and an activity feed where they can ask me questions. If they want more, such as how-to guides, downloadable templates, online courses, weekly lives with me, plus everything else that's in there, then that's the paid version. But basically, that's the main thing I'm doing now in the academy, apart from writing books. And there's a magazine coming up soon that will be coming out every month. I'm going to start that, though, in January, I think.
Is that an e-zine, or is it going to be a physical papery thing?
Both. So I'm currently preparing already since the beginning of the year, but and as you know, I love preparing in batches. So I want to have at least 6 months ready to go before I actually launch it. And this way I'm not in a hassle of, oh my God, I need to create another one. So that's why I take my time with that. But it will be a limited number as well. My lucky number is 5. So I'm thinking of
5. My lucky number is 11.
There you go. I always play 11 in the lottery.
I love binary and all things, because I'm autistic, so I see everything as masses of yes/no questions. So I kind of like the symbolism. We're running out of time, so I want to hear. I want to hear about the magical Gavin. I've been, ever since I saw it, I became slightly obsessed. It's such a cute thing. God, tell me.
He's super
I
cute,
wanna
and
know.
he's quite big as well, as you
Oh
can
my
see.
God, he's been eating well. So tell me, first of all, what is magical Gavin, and how did he disappear, and how did he reappear?
Yeah, so that's an interesting story. So the story of how he came into my life is not super interesting, and it was a bit random, but I'm happy to tell that.
I
I
love
basically
random. Come on now, I love random.
I basically saw a phrase on social media saying, "Always be yourself unless you can be unicorn, then always be unicorn." So I decided to print that on a T-shirt. People saw that I have that on a T-shirt and started buying me unicorn gifts. So my house in the UK was full of unicorn stuff. I think it was the dream of everyone's girl, maybe. And I thought, instead of what's this kind of weird stuff everyone is giving me unicorns, I thought I'm going to go with that. So even the sponge for washing the dishes was unicorn shape. Okay, it was like that. And then at some point, Gavin was gifted to me by previous colleagues to my birthday. And I was like, this is cool. He's a philosophical unicorn.
It is the cutest unicorn I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I have to say.
And he's quite philosophical. He's not as organized as me, but that's why I'm here. And I decided to make him my official co-founder. So on my website and in my online courses, he makes appearances. And he has his own Twitter account that I haven't used for a while because he's quite lazy. So I will get him reactivated at some point. However, the story of him disappearing, just quickly, is I decided to leave the UK about 3.5 years ago.
I know that's quite monumental.
Yes.
Proper world traveler. Go on then. Yes. So you left the UK.
So I left the UK. I moved to Sweden, and now I'm based in Italy. But that's a story for another time. So Gavin, I was lucky enough to have friends in the north of the UK, actually, in near Manchester, let's say, where I was based for a couple of months before actually moving. So I gave up my house that I was renting in Chelmsford in Essex, and I moved to up there in the north. Then I left Gavin and one suitcase in their house because I wanted to get it later, and he disappeared. They said, "We're really sorry. Gavin is gone. We don't know where he is." They searched the entire house. They searched all the houses of their children and everything, and no one found him.
You were probably quite attached by this stage. So,
yes, but I was. Well, if Gavin decided to leave, he decided to leave because maybe he was a bit peed off that I already left him behind in the UK, not knowing that I'm going to pick him up later. So he was gone, and I was like, well, that's it. Maybe I have to find another unicorn. I have some other ones that were like a stand-in for some of the webinars and things.
Stand-in Gavin.
Stand-in Gavin. And 2 months later, no, wait, 8 months later, because it was when I already lived in Italy.
8 months later.
8 months later, I got a message from my friends in the UK and said, Gavin is back. We don't know where he was. He was in the room, and Gavin has come back. We're going to send him to you. And well, really,
I bet you were giving somebody else some pleasure. I bet you was giving somebody else some pleasure. So in a way, that it's kind of lovely in a way.
Yeah, and I kid you not, it's a true story. I'm not making this up to make a drama story. And this proves he's really magical. So they sent him to me in a box. I was super happy. And I think he wanted to discover a bit more of UK before leaving. So he was probably traveling with his friends and his broccoli friend. I'm going to talk about that another time. And he came back.
You heard it first. He has a broccoli friend. All right.
Yes.
So Christine, I'm gonna call it to a halt there, but I'm just gonna say this, guys, this is a window on the constrained madness which I'm tethering my horse to here. I love it. She's already helping me arrange my life as well, and frankly, I welcome it. It's amazing. I have to say, and please don't take this wrong, I've never met a German with such amazing creativity. Most Germans I come across don't have the creative bug. Everything's very black, very white, very grey, very, very organized. I used to, as a musician, I used to perform with a German young, hang on, Frausch, no, I've forgotten his surname, but he's known as J Frog, in a DJ. absolutely the most boring dresser you have ever met. Just absolutely, you could predict what he was going to look like before he ever turned up. He was always the same. Thankfully, his music was more interesting, but you seem to have, I don't know, you're not properly pure German. There's something incredible in there.
No, I'm part unicorn, part alien, part
There
German.
you go. You see, I
So,
knew it. So, okay. So, guys, please be mindful. We're going to be doing these fairly often, at least twice a month, sometimes more. What I would say is look out for them, because on each occasion you will learn a little bit more, either about the Creative Startup Academy, or about the Unicorn, or about Christine, or about all three. Whatever it is, you will come out. You'll benefit from each interaction. So I wish you well. Many thanks for taking the time out today, Christine. I personally believe it's an honor and a magical mystery tour that I've set myself on. There's Gavin. Take care, everybody, and have yourselves a marvelous weekend. Until next time we see you.